3 years ago, almost to the day. It was the middle of October in 2022 when I walked away from everything that I thought I was. I walked out of my marriage because I realized that I wasn't able to be myself in it any longer. And I walked away from a house that I had got. It was a 50-acre property. And we got it with the hopes of working out, what we thought we could salvage and pull together. But what I realized was that I was in love with the fairy tale, and I was in love with the illusion of what I was in that relationship, and it just didn't work for me any longer. And at that very same time, I decided to just pull that ripcord, and I went through a breast explant surgery, and having these implants for well over 30 years with, again, the illusion of what I thought I had to be in this world, like what I thought I had to be accepted. And from that day forward, that was all happening in October of 2022. It was like 1 week after the other. And I sold the property too that I had bought, and everything changed. Sometimes when we leave a situation that is so comfortable for us, and that includes what our body looks like, that includes our relationship that we've had for so long, because I was with him for over 17 years, and we had actually even dated 23 years before that, and we split up for like 5 years, and we found our way back to each other again, and we stayed together for 17 years, and we went through so much together. And I realized that I just couldn't hold that together any longer. I think that there was just a part of me, and be it if there was, an energetic change on the earth, or, whatever it was that was moving through me, I couldn't ignore it. And I had to move out of it all to finally find myself again. And I did. I spent the following year till the summer of 2023, living in a townhouse in Blue Mountain, and just spending so much time, on my own, and, of course, working with the business and stuff like that. And thank goodness it was, running so smoothly without me. And it was time for me to shift gears, because, I had been involved in that business already. In 2022, I had Kelly's Bake Shop for 10 years. So it was fully established and fully growing. And I think that probably the pandemic that happened in 2020 and 2021, and all the things that came at me and came at us as a family and as a couple, it was a big awakening. And I just really became a different person. Or I became a person that just needed space to evolve and expand and become whatever it is that I needed to be. I painted. I took up painting. I took up abstract art. Did a ton of hiking. I did a ton of time in nature and just being with the stillness of life and the stillness of the trees and the wind and the birds. And it's a very scary thing when you realize that you've outgrown your life, when you've outgrown the comfort of it. And I gotta say that I know a lot of people in that situation, and most people just stay. They stay where the comfort is, because the other side of it, the great unknown, is just too frightening. And you know, when I had my surgery and I went by myself, I just knew that I had to do this on my own, and I didn't want anyone with me. And at that point too, we were, you know, really not, you know, cooperating in a relationship any longer. And you know, my daughter would have driven me or whatever, but I just wanted to go by myself. And it was so therapeutic for me. It was so evolutionarily, is that a word? Evolutionary for me. I could just feel myself evolve. Like as soon as I got those sacks out of my body, I felt so liberated. And I went, oh my God, I felt this true connection to myself. And I didn't care what I looked like, you know, with the scars or the, you know, the deflatedness of what they were going to look like. It just didn't even matter to me. What mattered to me was that I was reclaiming my soul. And from that moment forward, I have just done so much work. And I finally found this homestead that I'm on now. I've been living here for 2 years. And I've done so much on it, and I do so much work on it. And it's only 3 acres. It's not big, but I put in a veggie gardens this year, and I put in the raised beds. And right now I just had a bush cord of firewood delivered, so I'm stacking it right now and just preparing for winter. And I feel like I'm in this state of like cocooning and getting myself ready to just cocoon for the winter. And it's just like taking over me to make sure like the roof is okay. And because last winter was so horrible, oh my God, you know, we were getting a foot of snow every single day. I couldn't stay on top of it. I was so exhausted from shoveling and maintaining it. So, you know, now I'm making all the phone calls to making sure I have, you know, teams of property management or snow shoveling kind of guys or whatever to keep the roof cleared. And I was scared that the roof was going to collapse. It was like there was 6 feet of snow on my roof. But anyway, so I feel the calling, and I can feel it in the wind. And I can feel that there's this calling for us to just slow everything down. Even I find Instagram and Facebook is not interesting. I find that it's just this algorithm that is just trying to hook me and shock me and keep me, you know, dialed in. I'm very aware, like a great deal of self-awareness has flown and grown through me. And I'm sure you guys are seeing that too, that there's almost a toxicness to it. And I'm excited to think about what the new earth will potentially become. And the new earth being like, what will social media look like? What will business look like? What will our lives look like? You know, if we go through a financial reset, you know, are we still going to be using currency? Are we still going to be using fiat money? You know, like what are the things that are going to be coming into being? And, you know, I'm very self-sufficient now with food and with heat and with a roof over my head and entertaining myself. I actually love being alone. And I know a lot of people can't really say that, but I enjoy my time with myself, and I enjoy cooking, and I enjoy having a kitchen to myself, and I enjoy, my bedroom and my bathtub, and I enjoy all of that beautiful stuff with this aloneness. And I get to read, and I'm doing so much reading now, and I'm doing so much writing, and I really want to do this so much more, of almost the journaling of the evolution of this energetic shift, this whole new earth that's being gifted to us and being created right before our very eyes. And it's our inner world that is what will create the outer world that we get to experience. So it's very important to live with love. It's very important to live with nature. It's very important to honor and love every step you take. Be grateful for the firewood, be grateful for the air, be grateful for the breeze, be grateful for that bird that's singing, and for the leaves that you have to, rake up. And as much as some things can be awfully mundane and going, oh my God, I gotta do this again. No, you have to shift it, and you have to say, thank you. What an honor it is that I have to wash these dishes right now. What an honor it is that I have to clean my floor. What an honor it is that I have to shovel my driveway from all the snow that just fell. And thank you for all of this. Thank you. I am living with such purposeful gratitude. And that is everything for me right now. So grateful for my business, so grateful I get to drive down there, so grateful that I have my escape of my home. That's my retreat. It's my getaway from the city. I'm so grateful for how it's all evolved and how it's all come to be. And I'm grateful for my marriage. I'm grateful for all those lessons, and I truly love him so much. Yeah, I just wanted to share that there's this dichotomy, there's this split from, grieving, you're grieving your old life, and then at the same time, you're celebrating your new one at the same time. And it's learning how to flow between the both of them, and to not hang out with the grief. The grief can be a catalyst for you to go shift into an incredible amount of gratitude for that. Trust me, the energy is there for you to tap into. It's here for us, in the ether. It's here for us. And we decide what level of consciousness and what frequency that we want to tap into. We decide it all. I wish you guys love. Talk to you soon. Bye.